Hello everyone, Dean the Autist, and I haven't moved from my spot. Let's go. Some days later, I spot Rin and Sai standing together in front of the gallery as I walk down the street towards the gallery. They seem to be talking to each other while Sai has a smoke. Good afternoon. I say this, even though it's not really afternoon anymore. I came a bit later than usual since I got caught up doing homework. It's going to be dark soon. Hello there, Zhao. Came to visit the little kitten again? Rin makes a face at the nickname. I guess she doesn't like it. Ironically, the way she wrinkles her nose like that really does make her look a little bit like a cat. Hello. Sai turns her back to Rin to continue the conversation they were having. So in other words, everything is going well enough? Rin makes a difficult expression and turns her face away from me for some reason. It's difficult. It's like I'm missing something, but I will do it. Work hard and it'll be fine. I'm going to have to start working on my part of the preparations. I need to do a sales catalog, invitations, decoration, advertisement, and so on. Seriously, like, the corporatization of art is ridiculous, honestly. Like, part of art is supposed to be self-expression, right? Right? It's like, okay, let's make this into a business. Right? Well, I want you to keep in mind that the game I'm playing, Katawa Shoujo, this game, it was made completely for free. And it is for free on Steam. Right? And I would argue this is one of the greatest, really just dating sims of all time, honestly. Like genuinely. Like, best well-written, the character designs are not overtly sexualized and things like that. It's pretty good. Anyways. I need the names for your works, and we need to think up the general theme for the exhibition. They don't have anything like that. I'm not very good with words, so I don't use them. If I cannot use them, I mean, sometimes I have to, but I think this is not a time like that at all. You don't like naming your works? I don't like it. I guess it's hard to come up with a good name for something like this. Rin shakes her head vehemently. It's not like that. It's like if I paint a cloud and call it an octopus, people will think about it differently if I paint a cloud and call it the end of the world. Every name is wrong. Nothing ever explains what I feel like when I'm painting. It's not a word thing. The only thing would be to come up with new words for everything, but but would it help at all? No, I don't think so. Then the paintings would just go with unnamed number 1 and so on. It's a bit inconvenient, but that's no good. Unnamed means you didn't come up with a good name. And unnamed is a name. Like that Greek guy with the sheep and all. Nemo? Okay, I'm done. The Greek guy with the sheep and all. And unnamed is a name. I'll have to, like, look that up. Sai thinks about this for a while, furrowing her brow as she keeps looking at Rin's serious face. So you're saying your artwork could be completely without labels? I think that's what I'm saying. Sai lets out a dry laugh, the kind old ladies who smoke too much always seem to end up with. Like my grandma. Let's hope your art will never end up in a museum. The curators would explode. Look. All I'm saying is that, if a banana tapes to a canvas could get into an art museum, I'm pretty sure that Rin's paintings would as well, even without names. Because apparently, a banana taped to a canvas is high art. She takes a contemplative puff on her cigarette, which has worn down not much more than the butt. Then she drops it into an ashtray affixed to the wall next to the door. Then again, it could work. What do you mean? This namelessness, this rejection of labels, it works. It's a good, unifying theme, and something people can grasp onto easily, allows for a lot of room for interpretation, and it gives a good impression. Think about it, all sorts of associations can be made, starting from identity and self-definition, all the way to whatever you want to think about it. You can call your exhibition Nameless and build it on that theme. How does that sound? Rin thinks about this for a while, not sure how Sai managed to get so fired up by Rin's reluctance to apply names to her works. It feels like she might be extrapolating too much, but it's a pretty impressive sounding idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. For what it's worth, I have to say it sounds pretty good to me too. Sai reaches into her pockets for another cigarette, lighting it with a neon green butane lighter. Her forehead wrinkles as she rubs it, and she rubs it as she appears to furiously think more on this idea. She doesn't say a word for a little bit, but every now and then she takes a very sharp drag from the cigarette. Yes, this could work out pretty nicely. I'm going to take this as a starting point and work from there. I'm going to work on this. You go back upstairs and find your missing ingredient. I'm sure it'll come to you sooner or later. Rin doesn't reply, so Sai takes one last, long pull from her cigarette and drops it in the tray to join with others of its kind. The gallery owner turns to head back inside, but is stopped by Rin just as she reaches the door handle. Oh, I did not mean to do that, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Sai. What is it, kitten? Can I have some cigarettes? She looks at Rin incredulously, clearly not having expected such a direct request. Not that I did either. Don't tell your teacher! Rin, what are you doing with cigarettes? Miss Sayoji gave them to me. Motherfucker! Nomiya shows up. Rin's parents shows up. They just start beating Sai to the ground. She stuffs the packet in Rin's pocket, along with the neon green lighter. The day is already folding into dusk when we climb up the dark stairs, leading up to what is now basically Rin's atelier. As we go inside, Rin doesn't seem to be able to settle down. She keeps pacing around the room like a caged animal, looking through the skylight at the burgundy-colored desk. The last light of the sun's advance towards the sky reflects from the clouds floating over the town, filling every corner of the atelier with blazing orange light. So, painting is going well? She blinks, then relaxes her muscles. I didn't even realize how tensed up she was until now. Not really. I haven't painted in 3 days. I'm going in squares. Circles. If you say so. I tried doing things a bit differently, but it doesn't work, and now the old way doesn't work either. I need something more. It's not enough like this. Rin's response gives me pause. Since, as usual, I can't exactly understand what she means. Although, really, I shouldn't have expected anything else. She either says nothing at all, or too much. Trying to comprehend or follow her train of thought feels like wading through the jungles of Borneo equipped with a wooden spoon and a map of Hokkaido. I have no idea what any of this is referencing. Is this like mythology or something? Anyways. It's annoying our thoughts are both laid out in plain sight and hidden from view every time she opens her mouth. What's more, you said that to Sai as well. A missing ingredient? I think I had to destroy myself. Okay, that sounds unnecessarily grim. What do you mean? Rin's shoulders slumps, and she turns to face me directly. I have to change. I tried, but this is not enough yet. I had to destroy myself first, I think. Just to be clear, you're speaking metaphorically, right? Like learning to paint from scratch again, or whatever, or so to speak? She shrugs her shoulders, as if there's no difference. There is no difference. So, you're going to start by smoking a cigarette for inspiration? Maybe. I've never tried this before, have you? No, I can't say I have. Still, I'm not really sure if having a smoke is the best starting point. She responds to my words with another nonchalant shrug. I open the cigarette pack and look inside. It's almost full. Smoking is bad for you, but that's the idea here, I guess. Yes, I need to do something. I want to paint. I need something more. Okay, so, fine. What's after smoking a cigarette, then? How do you intend to destroy yourself? Rin thinks for a split second, averting her gaze as she does when she doesn't want to get distracted. I don't know yet. I'll decide later. Rin bends down to pick out a cigarette from the end. She raises her head with one between her lips and turns to me, eyebrows curved into two arcs, challenging me to respond. Yeah, I just looked at her Sprite and cigarette. With a sigh of resignation, I pick up the lighter and raise it to meet the cigarette. I can feel Rin's warm breath against my quivering hand. The flame flickers the life on the third strike of the flint, and I try to aim the dancing fire at the end of the cigarette. The amber-colored glow spreads into the wrapping paper and tobacco as Rin inhales the first smoke. It seems to relax her significantly. To my surprise, she doesn't cough, despite telling me that she's a first-timer. Rin seems to remember that it's hard to blow the smoke out without spitting the cigarette out as well. She quickly sits down on the floor, bringing the foot to her lips like a circus contortionist, and expertly picks the filter between two toes. I get down to the floor as well. We both lie down almost simultaneously, while Rin blows a steady stream of smoke towards the dim sky beyond the glass of the skylight, looking after it thoughtfully. The thin haze of steely blue smoke slithers towards the ceiling in fish-like movements. It billows in the stagnant air of the atelier, twisting and turning around its own immaterial body until it dissipates in thin air. What's the word for smoke that looks like that? There is no word for that. Maybe we should come up with one. Maybe. Rin takes another quick, experimental drag. It's not very tasty. It feels like inhaling the dust lying on top of a forgotten book about the memories of a dead kingdom. Do you want to try? My hesitation unintentionally surfaces again, making me freeze in the face of a rather trivial and commonplace challenge. Rin's ability to take everything so coolly is something I'm a bit jealous of. Alright. Taking it from her, I have a drag on it, fighting against the sudden choking feeling in my lungs as they fill with smoke. To my embarrassment, I fail, wheezing and hacking my lungs out. I feel flustered, but maybe I haven't lost too much face in Rin's eyes. It's less unpleasant on the second try, but I still pass the cigarette back to Rin. We're like a pair of budding delinquents in middle school, sneaking their first smoke out of sight from their teachers and parents. Well, I suppose it's not like, it's exactly what we are. After a while, the cigarette has shrunk most of the way down to the filler. Rin is still quietly looking out to the skylight. With her looking out there, the silence inside the atelier seems to deepen even more. Are the cogs of creativity turning behind those eyes right now? Do another one. I mechanically pull another cigarette, light it, and place it on Rin's lip. She takes a few quick puffs and moves it awkwardly around her lips. Not understanding her garbled words, I glance over at Rin. It looks like she's having trouble with the cigarette. I pick the cigarette up from her lips and place it on mine, abandoning common sense and good reason while I do so. The first one should have been enough for me, but I take another drag, still coughing a little at the unpleasant sensation of smoke invading my respiratory organs. I remember doing something like this before. So you have smoked? Doesn't look like it though. Nah, lying on my back and looking at the sky with you. Oh. The sky on the other side of the glass is slowly growing darker. It's unreachably high, even if the shimmering smoke seems to make it closer. I return the cigarette back to Rin's mouth. It feels bad somehow. The space between us, less than an arm's reach, is still there. It's the distance between us, the immeasurably wide chasm of thoughts and feelings that separates us with graver certainty than even light years of physical distance could. By saying the right words, there might be a way to make that chasm narrower, even if it's just a little. I tried to cross that gap with one big step, but Rin turned me back. I glance at her from out of the corner of my eye. Rin is staring upwards through the smoke-filled ceiling and the skylight at the darkening sky above us. It's almost as if she's sleeping, even though I know she isn't. Her eyes are open, as is her mouth. I take the cigarette from Ren before it falls on her cheek. She doesn't react to my touch in any way. So this is where we are now. I wonder if we can ever be closer than this. I take a drag of the cigarette and blow a thin stream of smoke upwards. These indirect kisses are the only thing that connect us right now. The taste of Rin's lips on the filter, mixed with the ashen taste of the smoke. Her soft lips against my fingers as I press a cigarette on her mouth, as if she was placing kisses on them. The ash slowly falling to the floor between us like snow. As the second cigarette is being finished off, I'm already lighting the third one. The only thing breaking the stillness of the atelier is the inaudible sound of smoke floating towards the first stars blinking overhead. Light nausea hits me by the fourth or fifth cigarette. Before long, the shape of the waxing moon appears in the skylight, shedding her wan light down on us. It'll be a full moon in a few days. It'd be nice to be able to fly. I flinch after realizing it was my own voice that gave birth to that remark. The bastard child of the almost inebriating smoke and tiredness. You can't? You can? Sometimes I feel like it. Like I can do anything. I wish I felt like that too sometimes. I wonder if she hears the bitterness seeping into my words. The vicious cycle of unrequited feelings is poisoning me, even now. I try to push the grim thoughts aside. My efforts meet with little success as my mind keeps swirling around what-ifs and if-onlys. Watching the moon slowly creeping closer, I realize that a long time has passed since I came here. It sobers me somewhat, but also reminds me of the sad status quo we're in now. It's late. I'd better get going back to school. I stand up to leave, but Rin doesn't show any sign of rising up from the floor. She lies inanimate, as though all life had been sapped from her. Little wisps of smoke float around her, memories of the cigarettes we shared. I grasp her by her short and thin arm and try to pull her up. To my surprise, she complies and stands up with some help from me. I notice how little Rin weighs, as if she were made of feathers. Are you going to stay here overnight? I have to. I haven't painted it much in 3 days. I have to figure out how I can start painting. Maybe the smoke helps. Just take a break. It's no good. I have to do it. If I can't paint anymore, I will be destroyed for real. Maybe you're just burned out. You've been working pretty hard. That would be bad. I wonder if this is it for me. I wanted to see how far I can go. Maybe this is it. The end. You just have artist block. It's not that big of a deal. What's the word for when you can't paint, right? I've had that before. Never like this, though. I pick up a brush, and then I want to put it down right away. Then I do, 3 days. It's like I've forgotten how to paint. I didn't think that was possible. Like, more impossible than Emmy growing wings and a tail. You need to take a break. I mean, I get you trying to go deeper inside yourself for your paintings, but it's really not that healthy to stay inside your own head for so long. I glance at the night sky visible through the window. A couple of stars are weakly twinkling above the sky. They remind me of something I used to do, once upon a time. It feels so horribly long ago. Come on. Let's go outside. Where? Just for a walk. I'll show you my secret place. I don't know if it works in this town, but we can try. In any case, you need a break and probably something to eat. Come on. You need to get your thoughts away from this for a while. When they're troubled, most people escape from their unhappy lives into a world of fantasy. I did that before, and still do today. Reading books endlessly, immersing myself in their world rather than my own. Rin's escape should be the other way around, though. Out of her inner world and into the real. Rin doesn't look happy about this, but I ignore her. At least she's somewhat cooperative, walking after me as we head down the stairs and down onto the sidewalk. Night has fallen upon the town. It's a gentle summer night, smelling of flowers and hot asphalt. The sunlight is replaced by shining neon colors and bland yellow streetlights. The air is easy to breathe, as if the air pressure was noticeably lighter than usual. The feeling of daytime in the hot summer has lasted long into the evening and night. I grab Rin by her sleeve like I've seen Emmy do, and to my surprise, she obediently follows. The pale street lights fight against the all-enveloping darkness as we walk together, the guide and the guided, although neither knows the direction. But it doesn't matter. This is the one moment where the usual silences that have become a ritual between me and Rin at last fit perfectly. We walk side by side, choosing directions on impulse or inspiration. Sometimes we find ourselves back at a street we've already seen once or twice. Sometimes we find new streets. All of them look asleep. Rin doesn't ask where we're going. Maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she knows I don't have an answer. And the silence of the night isn't scary. After all, the lights drive most of it away. The air grows cooler as the moon progresses along its journey in the cloudless sky. Few cars roam the streets at this hour, and even fewer people are on the sidewalk. The apparent lack of nocturnal life is somehow befitting of this place. There are around-the-clock shops and cafes, sure, but the atmosphere is like the town itself is slumbering. A town that sleeps 8 hours a day. The city I grew up in, bathed in the electric glow of a million light bulbs, never slept. I have seen it for myself. It's not the first time I've done this. It happened one of the first times I was home alone. Both my parents had business trips that neither could cancel, so they deemed me old enough to survive 2 days on my own. Their misplaced trust in me did not go to waste, as I proceeded to spend the entire night out walking around the city. Even afterward, I couldn't say what made me stay downtown longer than I intended after school. I didn't feel like going home, so I stayed through the evening and eventually through the entire night. I walked long, concentric circles around a landmark chosen at random. For some reason, the nighttime city felt fascinating, so I walked its streets. At every intersection, it was possible to choose your direction at random, because they all led nowhere. The aimless wandering made me see things differently. I hope it'll do the same for Ren. We stopped to buy some hot coffee and snacks from a vending machine, and then locate a bench where we sit down to eat. There was no time in the night of the town, so we spent an unknown amount of it just sitting there, observing the stillness of the unusually vivid townscape. Still, it's getting very late, and soon, it'll be getting very early. So, is this it? Hearing Rin's voice surprises me. She doesn't sound bored. Rather, her tone is inquisitive, uncertain as to why I dragged her out here, yet curious to find the answer. Yeah, have you ever been out all night? It's like a different world. The remark sends her thinking for a while, looking around as if she was looking for something. Wisps of light reflecting from the corners of her eyes are suddenly very sharp. It's not a different world, it's the same, just asleep. What do you think this town is dreaming of? Maybe something like car sheep or building sheep? Why are dreams always about sheep? I've never seen a sheep-related dream that I can remember. Do different towns dream of different things? Probably. How could they not? I answer half joking, half spurring her on. For the first time tonight, it seems like a bit of... it seems like a bit of Rin's life has returned to her. She doesn't continue her list of rhetorical questions, though. Instead, she leans back a little and looks up at the moon traveling above the town. The cool breeze blowing between the buildings seems to steal the conversation away before it even really begins. It's too bad. It looked like Rin would get out of her balloon mood. I wish I could somehow know the right things to say, but realize I can't do that the way I am now. I'm far too apart from Rin. I haven't really managed to crack her open. She's just too complicated. It's like she's open to anything, equally disinterested in anything from the outset. In truth, she's locked tighter than anyone else I know, even myself. Sometimes she locks herself inside that inner world, shutting everything else out. At other times, her thoughts flow freely from her mind, but not organized in any fashion that would make them intelligible to the rest of the world. What comes out in the form of paintings, I can't interpret. To me, it's just a sea of colors and shapes, not a message. She's too far away. I know now that it's a bad idea to try to reach for her in the way I did, but I can't help liking her. I look at the fingers of my right hand, trying to remember what Rin's lips felt like against them. Do you ever feel like you're trying to reach out for something that's impossible to reach? Rin turns her gaze to me, tilting her head quizzically. I wonder if she understands the meaning of my own rhetorical question or not. Either way, I like how I can manage to catch her attention by just speaking aloud nowadays. All the time. At least I think so. That's what painting feels like a lot of the time, or all the time. I don't know. Sometimes I get the feeling that I can really paint what I want. Sometimes it feels like it's just another shadow of me, like a mirror that doesn't work right. Like talking? Maybe. When I was little, I didn't have friends. Maybe it's the same now. The only things I liked were pens and paints. They were the only things that understood me. Now it feels like that's going away too. Change is really is a scary thing. I wish I could understand you. She looks at me melancholically, roused by my thoughts materializing as words spoken aloud. Me too. Whether she meant she wished for me to understand her to understand me, or her to understand herself, I never ask, nor do I find out. I see her eyes searching for mine. Serious and cryptic as they are, I'm not getting explanation from there. Don't worry about it. I will. Small hints of a smile are wavering on her lips. When she's like this, it makes me feel that there's hope for us. We get along so well for being so different. It's just that we never actually get along precisely because we are so different. Maybe it was Rin's passionate approach to her own art exhibition, or perhaps my own careless words, but last week was different than usual. The small friction between us seems to be somewhat volatile, but at least we now seem to be back to normal, relatively speaking. We stand up from the bench and pick yet another direction in which to go. The wee hours of night slowly pass as we measure the streets of the town, one step at a time. We are finally at ease, not minding the rare lone passerby, the eerie darkness, each other, ourselves. Rin's step seems lighter, like the heavy air around her is letting go a little. It makes me feel happy. We don't talk, save for the single remarks that are spoken into into the night of the town and never answered. The details jumped into the eye instead of being the usual blur they are during the day. As the sky above the town changes from deep dark blue to gray, I know that our night is soon ending. It's almost morning. Rin looks up too and nods at me. It's true. The coming light of morning is creeping through the sky, climbing higher by the minute. It feels surreal. The sun won't come up for a while, but I get the feeling that the end of this night really is here and now. Should we head back? Rin nods again, twice, her hair waving in the breeze that seems to be heralding the coming dawn. Abruptly, she takes off, taking the lead in this walkabout on which I'd brought her. It seems she is really is in a better mood. This, too, makes me feel happy. Rin's navigational skills are probably not much better than mine, but we eventually find ourselves right in front of Sai's place. I don't know if this was any help. I did this once before, but it was because of a stupid impulse or maybe restlessness back then. Maybe this was a silly idea and it didn't help you at all. She just nods as an answer. So, do you know how you're going to destroy yourself now? I have some ideas. I don't want to see you for a while. Don't come and see me. Do something else. Her ultimatum catches me completely off guard. Oh boy. What the hell? What's that about? You said before that you didn't mind. I mind now. It's just for a while. I have to do this alone. I don't like that. Why? I don't want it to go on like this. Why? I don't want to feel this distance between you and me. She tilts her head like a bird, her eyes narrowing a little as she thinks. And you could touch me. What? You can touch me if you want. You'd feel better, right? I don't know. Try. Where do you want me to touch you? No boobs or left ear. Other than that, you can decide. Fine. I raise my hand hesitantly, even though I don't know why I'm actually doing this. Her eyes tell me that she's not going to explain. 1,000 thoughts race through my head as I slowly bring my hand closer to Rin's face and press 3 fingers against her pale cheek. Rin feels soft and cold. She closes her eyes on contact and visibly relaxes. I can feel her soft breathing, her muscles releasing tension as my fingertips caress her cheek. She doesn't rest her head against my palm or anything else you'd expect a girl to do in this sort of situation. In fact, she hasn't reacted at all, save for there's now shut eyes. Once I withdraw my hand, she opens them again. It might be an illusion created by the timid morning sunlight playing with my eyes, but Rin looks like she's holding back a smile. This is the problem with our relationship. Half the time I have no idea what's going on, and the other half I just fail to understand why things are going on the way they are. As usual, I'm not going to get an explanation. Rin merely takes a step towards the door. See you later. Then she disappears from my reach for an undefined period of time. Oh boy. Uh-huh. You know, it's probably because I don't remember this route very well that I'm having, like, I'm getting feels again, because I do not remember this route very well. Honestly, yeah. I hold true to my promise of honoring Rin's request, even if it's against my own will. I try to redirect my focus into my studies, but end up zoning out during classes and doing only the minimum amount of work required. Still, I start looking into my post-high school options a bit more seriously. I pore over university brochures and various career paths. I'm good at studying, so I want to go to university. I'm pretty sure I could get into a pretty decent one too, but the only problem is deciding which subject would be the best. Kenji ridicules me about subjecting myself to the control of feminist teachers when I tell him about getting into a university. I don't ask him about if he wants. I don't ask him about what he wants to do in the future. Yeah, Kenji just like disappeared during like most of this route. I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't remember it that much, because like this route is very Rin centric, and you get barely any other characters, because in Emi's route, for example, you hang out with Mutuo more often, right? You you hang out with Mutuo more often, right? From what I remember, Kenji stops you in the hallway like 4 or 5 times to tell you about inane shit, right? Like, there is an actual presence of other characters. In Rin's route, they just tell you that these characters did something, rather than actually showing it, right? And, you know, that's probably because, you know, the art teacher, Nomiya, and, like, Miss Sai Sayonji. But, like, honestly, like... Yeah, I think I remember why I forgot this route, because it doesn't have... First off, I'm gonna say it, I don't think Rin is best girl. And that's because of a few reasons, but... You know, like, I would get it. Like, I've met several... Well, not met, but I've talked to several people on Discord that have... that are like, Rin is best girl, and I can see why. But for me, like, she isn't all that. Plus, her route directly, you know, like, takes away from, like, some of the characters I really do enjoy in this game. And, I guess, if I remember correctly, there's some other routes that have the same issues as I'm letting on, but, yeah. Rin isn't... I wonder what Rin thinks of her own future. I bet she's not as lost as I am. And if she is, it's probably in some completely different way. I feel somewhat disappointed in finding out that I can't stop thinking about her. Her requests make me worry about her, and I think about her more than I did when I could go and see her when I wanted. It bothers me that I can't. Oh boy. As expected, I eventually crack. One late afternoon, I get on the bus heading downtown. I try to avoid explaining to myself exactly why I'm doing this. I keep thinking about other things for the entire duration of the trip. After a 5-minute walk, I'm standing in front of the gallery. I walk past it to the door of the atelier, but at that moment, I lose my courage and continue all the way to the next corner, at which point I turn back. Rin hate me if I go to see her. I'll wonder what she's like when she's angry. I've never seen her angry. The worst thing would be if I actually ruined something by going to see her, like she seemed to imply would happen. There's no way that can be true, can there? It's just one of her quirks. I walk back down the street and end up passing the atelier door for the second time. Only this time, as I continue all the way to the gallery, its owner is just standing outside the door, watching me. I thought that was you. What are you doing? I really don't want to explain the circumstances between Rin and me, so I get flustered and end up mumbling something unclear. She takes stock of me, then sighs deeply, looking wryly amused somehow. I hope she didn't misunderstand. Would you like to come in? Your teacher's visiting. We're discussing Rin's exhibition. Thanks for the invitation, but I really should... Don't be shy now, come on in. I know, Mia. I follow Sai inside, finding that our art teacher is indeed there. Nomiya is standing at the big desk, contemplating what looks like an invitation card. Look what the cat dragged in. Nakai, hello there, my boy. He doesn't seem at all fazed by my appearance. How do you like the invitations? I glance at them quickly. They're kind of fancy, with one of Rin's paintings printed on the front cover in shiny and gold writing. They look fine to me. They're magnificent. I absolutely love the design and the embossed gold lettering. Fabulous. Good print work, too. You have to tell me where do you get these done. What does Ren think? I haven't asked. She said she'd be fine with my decision anyway. Nomiya laughs boisterously, still turning the gold-lettered card in his hands. That's my girl. She wants to focus on the essentials only. Good for her. Her work is progressing well, too. It seems she's found new inspiration. I think she's been sort of weird lately. It's like she's wrestling with something. Which, herself probably, and it makes her confused. She said she had a hard time painting last time I saw her. It seems to be resolved now, however. You know, she practically lives up there now, right? Sai makes a simple gesture with her hand, as if sweeping my question aside. Sure. Don't you think that's weird? Maybe it is. I still think she understands how big an opportunity this is, and is going for it full throttle. Is it really that big? Nomiya sets the card down and brushes some imaginary dust off his jacket. Well, how do I put it? There are times in everyone's lives where something really big washes over you and changes you forever. This could be just that moment for Tezuka. I see. Yeah, I think I've had something like that happen to me. I'm referring to the incident that brought me to Yamaku. Neither of the two adults comment on that, however. It might be that everyone has, or will. At any rate, surrendering oneself to art is a big decision, and a thorny path too. Quite thorny indeed. Tezuka has almost everything one needs, but whether she has the will to pull through, that's a different question. I should know that best. I tried going down this path too, but turned away in the end. Huh. I don't understand what he's trying to say. Okay, so... Save. Actually, hold on. How many hours have I been... It's been about an hour. Jeez. I'm just... Sorry. I'm not used to sitting down this long, and I did not mean to do that. Alright, there you go. Okay. Actually, why did you turn away from being an artist? Why did you stop exactly? You've mentioned that before. Oh, that's a long story. Nomiya throws a sideway glance at the gallery owner, who has drawn her mouth in a thin, straight line. I've had a life-changing experience like that, even though I didn't realize it until later. Did I tell you that Sai and I have known each other for a long time? We studied at the same school, and it's been goodness how long... How long has it really been? Please don't count the years, Shinichi. Shinichi. You may be right. At any rate, when we were in school, we had this, friend, I should say. We were in the same program, and I think he met Sai at some party. I got to know Sai through him, in fact. Who's a spectacular artist, much like Tezuka. Great talent despite the young age. He easily left the rest of us in his dust. We were good friends, he and I. But there were things that created friction in the friendship. It felt like I was watching him from afar. You weren't the only one. Nomiya coughs, looking embarrassed. At any rate, he, ended up taking his own life. Such a tragedy. In retrospect, that was what made me choose a career as a teacher in the end. I never was that brilliant, nor that passionate. I desperately wanted to be a career artist, but I wasn't suited for that. You were good enough. Perhaps I would have been. But this is what I ended up with. I didn't have that drive after he was gone. I'm fond of kids. And they enjoy all forms of art. So it felt rather natural to take this path in life. But I think all that history with that friend of ours was the key thing. As sad as it was, a turning point, as they say. Sei stands up and digs in the pocket of her jacket for a cigarette and a lighter. Her hands are shaking. I'm going out for a smoke. Wordlessly, Nomiya and I both decide to follow her after a moment. It's really dark outside. It's already dark outside. Sai is standing with her back to us, taking sharp occasional drags on her cigarette. Its weak amber glow illuminates her face, framing her sharp jawline. Maybe it's best to call it a night. I could give you a lift back to school if you want, Nakai. Not going anywhere, Shinichi. I need a drink. We're going to that place at the corner. The teacher looks at the old lady, then shrugs to me apologetically. It's no problem, I'll just catch the bus back. I'm headed upstairs to see Rin if Rin will come back to school with me anyway. I think she's been staying overnight here too often lately. Sai locks the front door of the gallery and links arms with the old art teacher. I feel strange looking at them. I wonder what it feels like to have friends who've been with you for decades, for most of your life. I can't imagine it. Two of them start making their way down the street towards the bar on the corner, so I quickly head upstairs to the Atelier door, ready to get to what I originally came here for. Okay. So I'm gonna... Okay. I did not remember that. I didn't think they had that sort of backstory. I was under the impression Nomiya was just some creepy teacher, but like, keep in mind this is a game with multiple routes, and for me this game is pretty long. So I completely forgot about that part. Right? And keep in mind it's been a long time since I've seen anything about this game. And in all honesty, like, some of the other routes are more memorable than Rin's route. So that's why I was like, wait a second. So, anyways, you know what? I'm gonna keep going until we reach a choice or something. So, yeah. I climb upstairs and enter carefully. The room is dark because of the quickly falling light, but I see Rin, or rather her silhouette, sitting on the floor. So she's got her inspiration back, like Sai said, and moved from easel to painting on the floor. Before I managed 5 steps, I stop, frozen in my tracks. Rin is sitting on the floor, with her legs under her. Something in the atmosphere of the room changes. A little thing, not consciously noticeable, but it changes. Perhaps a timid current from the open door, or a minute change in air pressure, the sound of my breathing, even though I notice I haven't taken a breath for many seconds, the aura of my presence. Something catches Rin's senses. She stops moving, freezes, and slowly turns to the door. I imagine, not see, the horror on her face, like a fawn's eyes staring at a hunter. I wonder if Rin can see my expression, but at least she doesn't have the strength or the spirit to look straight in my eyes. So she droops her chin against her chest, letting her mess of hair hide her face from me even further. I feel like I should either walk out or walk to her, but I can't do either. I told you to stay away. Her words are defeated, painful, as if she was suffering. There's no way I can back off anymore. I lost that chance. So I do the next best thing. I quickly avert my gaze, even though Rin doesn't see what I'm looking at. I'm sorry. I didn't think... It's not like that. Her voice is raspy, shivering from held-back tears or something else. She's shaking, looking like she is physically in pain. It's not that like that. I had no idea what it really means to change, but I know now you have no idea what I've had to do and all the things I passed through. I think I forget. I don't. They just build up inside and grow until they flow out like a flow of everything that has ever been wrong. I can't take it. I can't think of the things I want because there's only so many things I could think of, like 4, 6, 7. It doesn't matter. It's never enough. I have to let this out. I have to destroy, forget it, and nothing else. Rin is mumbling through her words into the air more than talking to me. It is the rambling, ranting, raving speech of a lunatic, even and steady in tone, but taking the form of a never-ending stream of words almost simultaneously spawning from between her lips. It feels like she forgot it is me who is present, or that someone actually is present. Maybe she vaguely recognizes what is real and what is not. Maybe in her mind, I am a voice inside her head. She looks more broken than I imagined a human being capable of. And the hospital and school have given me some real perspective on that. I remember the hazy blue smoke, and myself wondering what Rin would do for the sake of art. The realization that Rin really is always serious hits me with its entire weight. She really and truly would destroy herself if her art required it. Although, she was so silly with her strange ways, talking about personal change as if it was something sudden and concrete, like waking up. I had no idea. This is her, laid bare in front of my eyes, in all possible meanings of the word. Complete isolation here in the top floor of this building, in this room, in her mind, day after day, working on her paintings with no heed paid to anything else, breaking herself to reach what she wishes to reach. Why does she have to do this? I'm trying to connect the pieces, but I don't understand. I feel sad, scared, excited, disgusted, worried, and a number of emotions I can't remember the name of now. I feel conflicted. I should go. I'm really sorry. It doesn't matter. My voice is dry and quiet, like sandpaper coming out of my throat. I really am sorry. Sorry for seeing this. I don't want to see Rin like this. All I can see is her sadness, her stress and despair. Is this what a limit means? How could Sai and Nomiya let Rin go this far? Or is it me who is to blame? I almost walk out right there, but the last moment I turn around, steel myself, and walk to Rin. To crouch down behind her, and lightly touch her forehead. She doesn't resist or react. I can't leave her like this. She's not well. She feels like she has a fever, freezing cold and burning hot at the same time. I wonder if she got sick from staying out all night with me back then. It seems like she's prone to getting ill. There's a blanket on the couch, but I wrap my arms around Rin instead of fetching it. She does not resist my clumsy hug, only slumps her head lower, deepening the shadows hiding her face from me. What are you doing? Nothing. Am I not embracing her out of love, nor out of forgiveness? Or am I in love, or is she sorry? I just want to hug her. For a moment, the only sound in the room is her heavy breathing. Her body warmth, shared between two people, is barely enough, but painfully slowly, it spreads from me to her. A small warmth returning to Rin makes me more conscious of her body against mine. Even in the darkness, I can still feel the fleeting scent of Rin's hair, the sweat on her skin, the dried paint stuck to her shirt. I feel the hardness of her bones and the softness of her flesh. Her heartbeats echoing mine out of rhythm just like always. The hot blood rushing inside me reminds me what I said back then. Why I came here even after all that. Why I'm here tonight again. Why am I hugging her now to keep her safe against the cold and the sadness? Rin has always grown on me inside my heart, claiming a small part of it as her own without even partially trying. Rin. Even if she wanted to push me away, I can't help this feeling. Are you alright, Rin? I'm not. I think it broke. I painted some really good things, incredible. But it hurt me. I can't handle this. Her voice cuts out, as there are no more words for her to say. It's not an angry voice nor a sad voice. It's a lifeless voice. I pet her head and shoulders, the physical equivalent of saying, there. It's not like I could reassure her with sweet nothings that people are supposed to say in this kind of situation. I'm not sure if she would even listen, or be reassured. She didn't react much to my embrace either, as if she didn't care. Maybe she doesn't. At least she doesn't care if she looks sad or not. There are no facades, no attempts to explain herself, no faux happiness. Rin is honest. I was not expecting a scene here. Also, why is there shrimp? What? Anyway. Well, I have a feeling we are approaching the endings soon. I reach out for the blanket and wrap it around her and me. Rin doesn't resist me. He is drained of all strength. What will happen now? I don't know. Nothing, I suppose? You look tired. I am tired. It feels strange, like I lost something? I mean, something else than my... something else than my marital purity. Don't say something like that. Neither of things. I don't want to lose you. What does that mean? I'm not going anywhere. I'm afraid that you are. All the time. In that moment, I felt that it was not only Rin who lost something of hers. I felt I was losing a part of myself. Or maybe all of me. But if you were to ask what it was that I lost, I couldn't say. Because I had already forgotten it. I broke another promise by coming out with my honest feelings to Rin. That's 2 in one day. I hate the distance between you and me, so every time it gets a little bit closer, I become afraid of losing it. That's weird. I guess so. Do you mind if I sleep a little? No, I guess you don't. You like watching, don't you? She closes her eyes and swallows with a loud gulp, trying to relax herself, fighting against the urge to paint. Yes. Yes, I do. Rin moves her body in my arms, searching for a comfortable position in our very uncomfortable position. She leans against me, closing her eyes, and lets out one last long breath out before settling into the steady rhythm of sleep. With her last moment of awareness, she whispers something to me, but I can't hear it. Rin drifts deeper into sleep, with a deep sigh that releases all remaining tension from her muscles. I try to shift around to place both of us more comfortably. It takes a while. It takes a while because I don't want to wake up Rin, even though she probably wouldn't. But eventually, I find a position, and I'm somewhat comfortable with. I lean against the soft cushions of the couch, and breathe in the cool air of the atelier. Rin's head rests against my chest, as if she were listening to my heartbeats. Echoes of her dream ripple as small twitches on her face, like a cat sleeping the mouse hunter's dream. The full moon, shining her pale light upon us from beyond the skylight, reflects from a blank canvas, standing forgotten on the easel, its whiteness glowing against the dark light of the atelier. I think this might be video number 4 for today. Okay, so saving here. I am going to take a break. I think I've done... Hold on. So yeah, I've done... Yeah, I've done like multiple hours today. Main menu. Yes. Okay, so I may or may not be back today. But I'm going to be taking a break. Goodbye. Thank you for watching.